All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cheeseadelphia 6. I am Tempo, joined by Fear Dragon. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing quite lovely because our next match is one that I am crazy
You've been going crazy for this one. It's like, dude, I really...
I have been waiting for this one for a while because I was sad.
Since the last Cheeseadelphia, huh?
Yeah, you know what? My boy Tesla is just like, he's one of those guys that you just inherently want to root for when you see him. If you ever get to interact with him in person, he's just a very lovable guy. He's very charismatic. He's very passionate about his wins and his losses. He takes those losses very hard.
Pretty hard,
but man,
he
feels good when he wins. He is one of those people that actually celebrates very visually. Tesla passionate.
He's so passionate, like he's not even at his seat right now.
I know.
Well,
he's busy, man. He's got better things to do.
Yeah, he's got better things to do, right? Oh my god! I was actually eating dinner with him last night, and he was happy to even make it to the round of 16.
Yeah,
you know, he was feeling a little bit nervous at first that he wasn't because of I think he had lost his first game in the second group stage, but was able to bring it out, and he's like, dude, like. This is good. I mean, I want to get that at least top 8 finish, and MaSa is going to be a pretty tough opponent for him, but it's definitely not something impossible for him to overcome.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, it's the whole Terran versus Protoss thing. MaSa is one of those players that I think
he'll let that
he gets it. He lets himself get into his own head, and that really ends up hurting him a lot.
I would say so as well, right? Like something like. Or someone like MaSa who doesn't really want to think about, you know, anything like that. When something like that really does get to him, you usually think he's cool as a cucumber and will usually be able to play his opponent. But just by yesterday, watching him against Lucky and talking to him about that, he's just like, yeah, man, like, put us. And that's like what he would say. He's just like, oh, it's definitely, PVT, man. That's PVT, bro.
It's kind of funny. Like, in some ways, I actually think that MaSa is one of the players that when he talks about that kind of stuff, he's like, oh, yeah, he's almost unhyping himself, I think, for the match.
Yeah.
I actually think it helped. Like, that kind of stuff, I actually think helps him a little bit.
I think so, too.
It, like, lowers the expectations. And MaSa's one of those players, I think the lower his expectations are, the better he ends up playing, the better he ends up
less
doing.
Less pressure he puts on himself. Yeah. It's kind of like how he just wants to be. Like, I think he has, like, this level, right? He can't be too much or too down.
Yeah, it's like walking that kind of tightrope walk for how much pressure you allow on yourself. You still obviously want it to be something you care about or is, like, is somewhat important to you.
Yes.
But making sure that you're not putting too much pressure on yourself, that you're not going to start making uncharacteristic mistakes is a big problem. And I think Tesla is also, kind of funny enough, one of those players that's also tended to struggle a little bit with that pressure and even like almost a little bit overconfidence in some situations. Yeah,
we've seen a lot of overconfidence from him. And when he gets overconfident and wins, you can see it shine through his personality. That's really cool, though. Players like to show their personality through their play. But, sometimes it can come back to bite you in the butt. And this is a game of it's mentality. It's a cerebral game when it comes down to it. But this is the time, right? You're playing against someone who is, pretty favored. He's won Philadelphia in the past, I believe.
He's gotten close to it, and he did win the last one.
Right. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he did. He was on fire the last one, too, though.
That was a different MaSa than I think we've almost ever seen. He went on a storming rampage through the entire StarCraft NA scene.
It was crazy. Even the finals against True was able to do that. And the fact that he's here again, back at it on Abyssal Reef for game number 1 of this best-of-5 series in the bottom right-hand corner. Give it up for MaSa.
I think that's the same piece of gum that he's been chewing since the beginning of the day. Since yesterday.
He sleeps with it. Since last Cheeseadelphia. It's actually the remains of True.
All right, spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, representing Sloth Esports Club. Give it up for Tesla. Sloth Esports, also one of the sponsors for Cheeseadelphia.
That they are, yep. I don't believe Stefan was able to make it down today, was he?
I haven't seen him.
No. Really, really awesome guy. And by the way, MaSa, I believe, is on OSC Elite. So, the clan tag that he has in game isn't necessarily, I think it's kind of a meme. But, yeah, OSC Elite, they have a few players on their team, too. I think Sham is also a part of that. So, yeah, really, really cool. Because you think like Oceanic StarCraft and you think it's going to be like all Australian and New Zealand players.
Yeah, the OSC circuit has definitely changed a lot. Like OSC used to mean like just the C region. And then they started working in NA, and in 2017 they really started working in Europe. So it's definitely changed, and MaSa has a good deal of really solid teammates and stuff. So
indeed,
it's cool to see him on that team and kind of growing himself and getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah, so
2018.
what do you got to make of this opener here coming out of at least Tesla for the time being? And the gas steal out of MaSa. Very, very interesting that he decides to do that.
Oh, that's actually really, really annoying for a pros player because it can sometimes be like not a huge deal, but it definitely cuts out some of the potential openings that Tesla would want to go for. You can see that he really does want to pick off that refinery as soon as possible.
Oh, but wait, there's more!
The counter gas, okay, the counter gas steal is actually kind of interesting because Command Center did start up a good bit later over here for MaSa. So he's not exactly going to be able to just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to take my third and fourth gas guys or something like that. So it does delay things maybe a little bit, or it cuts out some of the potential things that could be happening, but I don't think it's going to be an enormous steal. It does take an annoying amount of time to take out, though, and the Reaper is going to actually be sitting at home. That's what I would say is actually a really nice win for Tesla. He does not have to deal with that Reaper at all.
Exactly, and yeah, I think this is what he doesn't want to deal with. It's just the fact that it's annoying, and I think it's just a kind of way to put it back in MaSa's face, saying like, you're going to take my gas? Well, guess what? I'm going to actually let my gas finish, and whatever it was that you were planning, well, guess what? You're going to have to wait for it.
Tesla is actually that kind of person, too, who would be like, oh, you're going to do this to me? I'm going to do this to you.
Like, what's up? But MaSa is going to respond the fact, hey, if you can't mine gas, you might as well spend those minerals. And what better way to spend your minerals in a command center?
Oh, he's not going to be able to get the SCV before the command center finishes. That would have been a really, really nice win.
Wait, what? He actually got into it on that last shot.
He actually saves it. That's a really nice little micro save. And, this SCV.
Not this guy, not so
he's going to have one more hit point left over, but he's going to get picked off. So that's a nice little victory there for Tesla. The Marines and the Reaper finally clean up that second gas guy. That took a long time, but Twilight Council down behind this for Tesla. And this likely could just be leading into another Blink play, but we saw Tesla go for some Dark Templar play yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, where is he going to go? Only time will tell, as he does start out the Blink and double gateway here in order to get that production up. And, you know, it could be just what we've been seeing lately, just the Blink Stalker pressure. Use it defensively as well in order to try to deal with Medivacs if you need to, but we've been seeing a lot of Protoss getting more aggressive with it in order to secure their third base to try to get that economic advantage. But MaSa already getting that third base on the way makes me wonder if, you know, is he going to have the production he needs in order to deal with this kind of pressure?
Okay, Reaper moves into the main base, scouts out the Twilight Council, but is immediately surrounded and gets picked off. So Tesla loses a little bit of mind time, but the Stalker at the front was able to get a little bits and pieces of damage at MaSa's side of the map. I think there was that bunker there, but Tesla able to at least poke forward, maybe pick off like a Marine here or there, or at least soften some of them up.
Yep. But that bunker is already up.
Oh, might kill off a Stalker. No, doesn't quite get the focus fire down on that SCV, I mean.
Yeah. SCV, I think, is trying to taunt, forcing that Stalker to keep on coming up, trying to take it out. But no, as things stand here, it's just a little bits of light pressure from both players. Third bases are already on the way. I believe that the command center is done for MaSa, so it could be turning into an orbital very shortly. Or it actually already is an orbital. So yeah, it is ahead of Tesla's at the point.
Yeah, that is the big thing about MaSa's opening is that he, as soon as that gas steal came out, he immediately was just like, okay, I'm just going to go for a faster third CC. What are you really going to do about it? You invested into this gas geyser. I've delayed your gas geyser, so you can't be like hyper aggressive with some kind of crazy early attack. So the Blink Stalker opening is still there and available to put some pressure on. But you can see that Tesla's actually staying relatively passive overall. He's got 7 Stalkers out now, but he's finally getting a chance to move across the map. I would say almost like 15-20 seconds after Blink is finished up. So in some ways, I wouldn't say missing his window of opportunity is the right way to put it, but he's missed out on a portion of that window of opportunity.
Yeah, like he's not utilizing it at the exact time that he could.
Yeah.
But, you know, it did force out another bunker here from MaSa. The fact that it hasn't come yet has forced them to actually salvage it. So maybe that's a good thing that it did take a bit of time, but that's not enough Stalkers, I don't believe, to deal with this many.
Well, he's got to be so careful here.
Yeah.
As Stim is getting incredibly close to finishing up. It's 12 seconds away. And as soon as Stim finishes up, you can blink away, but that Stim will let the bio units still run down a handful of your Stalkers. You still end up losing 2 or 3, especially if the weakened ones are already at the front right now. So Tesla got to be very careful. He does.
Yeah, he's testing the waters because Concussive Shell wasn't done, but it did just begin. But he really hasn't been able to do any damage, and I think the most damage that he's done here is the fact that he stopped his third base from mining this early. So it is just moving on out, and if Tesla knew that, he definitely would be poking at it, but he does know about it now as the observer does check it out.
All right, and it's also worth noting that +1 armor has not really started up for MaSa, nor does he have an armory on the way to start up +2 weapons. So Tesla is getting some time to catch up on those upgrades. His +1 weapons finishes himself. He has Charge on the way. The Temple Archives just finished up, and he's continuing to just find little bits of picks off. Oh my god, that Marauder is floating up to the surface.
Yep. Well, now that he doesn't know about it, I'm kind of, liking the way that Tesla did that pressure, but I like how MaSa kind of dealt with it at the same time. He kept that third base up. He knew that if he had flown it out a little bit earlier, then that's basically what would have been pressured.
Ooh, this is nice little bits of damage. He doesn't quite get the bunker. I mean, it's not a huge deal if he gets the bunker at this point. There's a very big bio force behind this, but it is just that kind of annoying thing for MaSa to have to deal with. It's like, okay, the bunker's gone, and suddenly any stray units that are maybe just rallied in from the barracks, they can get actually picked off by these Blink Stalkers. And oh man, Tesla's actually doing a really nice job. He's even forcing out a couple of stands, but Blink is on cooldown right now.
Oh,
losing a few units. Oh, cool.
I thought he was going to get taken out right there.
Yeah, but he might actually still end up losing a few of these Stalkers if he's not careful. Concussive Shells
That's
is
exactly
done.
what you were talking about there, yeah. That stim allows him to run and chase them down. And before they didn't have Concussive Shell, but when you do have Concussive Shell, you're going to lose a bit of those Stalkers. And this army back at home.
This is so scary right now, though. This is such a narrow window for MaSa because he only has 2 medevacs out with his army right now, and Storm is almost finished. If Storm even touches any of these units, they're going to just fall over with a gust of wind.
Yeah.
And Storm is finishing up now. Oh, this is almost like an anti-timing right now for MaSa, but he might be able to snipe out the 4th. That is a good victory. Is he going to continue to push forward? He's starting to back up.
All right, charge is done as well. Now, can the Templar get into the fray here? Well, MaSa get a little bit too aggressive, but he does bait out the Storm. I think he was just like, okay, if he has a Storm, he's going to use it. Like, he's waiting, not trying to commit to the attack, and he just is able to take minimal damage. And now he has confirmation that Storm is out. It's done, and it's like, okay, I don't need to do anything here. I took the 4th out.
What? We got
already?
a nuclear missile coming out this early on in the game from MaSa. This is kind of insane. Ghosts already, of course, on their way out as well. Zealots, not quite in the front, and the High Templar in the back. Concussive Shells.
Okay.
Going to be able to pick that off, but also ends up forcing out a Storm.
Yeah, another Storm. I mean, just to save its own life there. You look at that army supply, MaSa is just getting such a scary army here. Tesla does have that AoE. He's able to start taking out those Widow Blinds. I think he, a little bit of a blunder there, but
yeah. And I really think that this is actually going to start looking not so great for Tesla soon, especially since he never really started up 2-2. That's actually a really, really big deal. He's had that Twilight Council. He's been able to start it up, but I don't know if he's just felt like he's needed to continuously warp in all of his gas on all the High Templar, but this drop on the left-hand side of the map killed off 13 workers, pulling them all the way back, and luckily for Tesla, he does actually split up his units fairly well to defend the 4th at the same time, but the natural is actually going to be where MaSa moves into.
Yep, the Colossus hopefully should be enough to deal, but this is mainly a Marauder force getting stuck. But in the natural is going to be the main force of MaSa, getting so many more probe kills as well, and he gets the Nexus. Oh boy, yo. Okay.
Oh, this is really, really tough for Tesla to deal with. I mean, at this point, this is where you even start considering, I need to go across the map and do something, or do I remake my expansion and just kind of try to macro this back up again? I go back to those upgrades. If he had 2-2, and he had this massive upgrade lead over his opponent, I'd actually like his position a lot better if he tried to go for this counterattack. He could maybe do some good split ups with the High Templar. Oh, one clone goes, he's going to be able to get a massive EMP.
Wait, what?
But no, MaSa's not going to go for it.
Maybe he didn't have enough energy for it because of the cloak.
Oh, maybe.
He thinks, yeah.
That's actually impossible. But more ghosts coming on forward. He's going for a nuke with that ghost. So it looks like the other ghost
He's on a mission.
Tesla just doesn't have any detection.
And he gets the EMPs on the majority of, not the majority, he got about 3 of them there.
Okay, well now he sees those ghosts, but the rest of one High Templar, I think. Oh, God.
Did he actually was able to evacuate?
He didn't get any workers.
He was able to evacuate a lot of the workers there, but it's the attention at that point.
A drop coming into the natural as well. The triple medevac drop. That's where the Templar Archives is as well. Oh my God. If he loses that, no more High Templar production. Those are the critical units that are going to keep Tesla in this game. But if he loses this, he's stuck with whatever he's got, and that's a lot of recently EMP'd High Templar.
Yes, they are. A good little cleanup though, but he did lose that tech structure that he did need. Going to be able to remake it here, but It's just the time. You know? He doesn't really have that on his side. He needs these Templar, and luckily he was able to keep most of them alive, so even though they got EMP'd, they are still at least alive. They can regain that energy, but MaSa is pushing on in.
Whoa, okay, well, some good storms coming down, catching not only the Marauders and Marines, but also the Ghosts. And it looks like Tesla, with the surprise 2 Colossus coming out before their robotics they got sniped off, is going to be able to get some damage on here. He might even be able to blink forward. No, it looks like Blink was maybe on cooldown. He goes for a little bit of a Zealot run by on the other side of the map. Not that many units over here. Again, 2-2 on the way for MaSa, but oh god, these Zealots would put up so much more of a fight if you had that 2-2 upgrade.
2-2. And you would think like this would be the perfect game for Tesla to take advantage
of that. Good storms!
No.
He gets the MP, but now he can make the Archons. He already used up all of his storms anyways, and he's got a big enough army to continue pushing on forward. MaSa was up 30 supply earlier, and now he's actually behind 45.
Almost 50, yeah.
Oh. Nuke coming down. Does Tesla realize it? It looks like he is starting to back up. He's also getting EMP, so he's going to retreat on out of there.
Really? Oh, this is really good play out of MaSa, but what had happened there? I mean, Tesla was holding on by a thread, and now he's able to be on the aggressive. I think, you know, when we were talking about the upgrades earlier, this is a bit of a weird game because MaSa has kind of been slacking on his upgrades too. He was on 1-1 the whole time as well. So the fact that he's only getting +2 is almost a godsend for Tesla.
Yeah.
Which could, you know, be 3-3 on the way if MaSa was keeping up with
these Colossus are doing so much in this game, though. Just the 2 Colossus is enough to roast a lot of these Marines, to put pressure on a lot of those Marauders who are already stimming up and losing some hit points. Now the 4th base is actually going to get found out, but SCVs come to repair the Planetary Fortress in time, and MaSa knows that he can defend that with both his army and the Planetary. Tesla can only engage versus one of those at a time.
Yep, and here we go. A lot of orange Marauders and Marines here. They do get the Concave, but the Colossus can try to break on through. The Archon in the front does get taken out. Colossus are trying to do a dance here.
You know what's funny is the Colossus never actually finished up Thermal Land, so I'm kind of surprised MaSa's not actually going and trying to gun down those Colossus a little bit more adamantly, but I can understand sometimes you try and go for the kill on those Colossus and it sort of backfires. You just end up taking a lot of damage in the process.
Oh, I can't believe he did forget that Thermal Lance. And
well, it got
to
canceled.
You're okay. Good storm, though, on this very nearly dead Bio army. Gonna get pushed on back, and now Tesla is in the natural.
Tesla storming forward. The Colossus get picked off by the Vikings, but it doesn't matter. They've already done the damage. And Tesla, sitting up 40 supply, still is now breaking through the natural. More Zealots coming in. An aggressive blink forward. This is going to start to backfire a little bit. He starts to lose a lot of these Stalkers, but, I mean, he still has a couple of Archons. He still is denying mining from that natural. He's going to be able to pick off that command center.
He keeps on targeting the medevacs here, and this is a really good move. But if he loses too many of the Stalkers, then the counterattack could bite him. But I think the damage is being done here. Tesla has a lot of money in the bank, so the reinforcements aren't really coming here. He doesn't have a Warp Prism with his army, but he does have pylons across the map.
Yeah. He's starting to break through again now that the charge lots are in the front lines and are forcing these units back. And again, like, Tesla's doing a fantastic job picking up those medevacs. Now he's blinking on top of those Marauders. This is going to be a big dance comes out. MaSa refuses to tap out, though. Almost just maybe a little bit upset about that. Oh, boy.
Tesla with the dancing of the Stalkers. And this is not just dancing the Stalkers on anybody. This is MaSa, definitely someone who would be a favorite to make it pretty far in the tournament. That's what you need to do. Get inside of your opponent's head and bringing it back from nearly being down in 30 supply. Tesla could be taking game number 1 here on Abyssal Reef. And, I mean, using the SimCity to his advantage. Looking pretty good. The army value is actually not that far apart.
Yeah.
But the warping potential of Tesla is so much higher.
Yeah, I mean, the upgrades are also great for MaSa, and there's like all these things you can talk about. He still has his 4th base, technically, but he's falling. You know, actually, I talk about
the worker count.
The worker count, you know. Tesla, he's up at 99 workers. Like, I think it's great. You know, Day9 always said probes and pylons. But there is a certain point where literally more than half of your supply, actually I think like 75% of his supply is workers right now, and he has 163 supply.
He's trying to do like the reverse of Leeb by having the greatest Protoss army.
You might have to start pulling his workers to like fight in these fights soon.
Maybe that's his plan, you know, just to do it as a kind of, wow. How many dances Stalkers already? The next step would be to just pull the workers and.
Wouldn't it be great if MaSa just goes across the map? He starts doing massive damage to worker counts for Tesla, but then it's like Tesla's like, oh, actually, you know, you just freed up my army supply. Thank you for that.
Yep. Good win of mine on a lot of those Zealots, but MaSa is holding on. His army value, remember, he has better upgrades, and he's also not that far behind, so Tesla could be getting a bit aggressive, overzealous.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm really not liking that over-aggressive Blink. I mean, he's still looking so good. I still think that he's on the verge of closing this out, but he is just getting maybe a little bit over-eager. He loses all the energy onto these high tempos once again, so no more storms available, and he is actually going to back out after sniping off that natural expansion. MaSa going for a 4th base, or I guess has gotten his main base floated all the way over to the 5th base location at this point. And then Immortal is going to go down. Tesla's taking his own expansion to utilize those 99 workers he has. Still isn't.
Might want to take a couple more.
I mean, you might want to actually start thinking about 2-2 again.
Yeah, that could be something that could help you out. And there you go. There goes a +2 attack.
Yeah.
Realizing like, why can't my army take yours? And remember, the army value it was pretty close, but with superior upgrades and also reinforcements. Yeah, MaSa was able to hold on. And this is, not the first time that MaSa has been in a position like this and has been able to bring it back. So if Tesla, gets into this mode where he thinks that he has the game in the bag, he could fall into a bit of a,
MaSa's so out of position for this. So the Archons are out of position. Okay, Tesla going to end up losing a lot of these high-value units. But remember that the command center is going to be so difficult for MaSa to replace in this situation. That was his main orbital command. He has one other orbital command. God, poor Archon. But MaSa only had one other orbital command left over. He's got the one at the 3rd, and then it's a planetary fortress at the 4th. And now MaSa's going to move across the map because he knows he has to do something here. He sniped off a lot of Archons, but Tesla still has a lot of these Immortals. He's getting close to getting up some energy for those storms, and he's actually got Colossus production going once again.
But he still does not have the extended thermal lance, Ravi.
Well, I mean, you know what, Tempo? I want to criticize that, but he got a lot of damage done without it before.
Oh, yeah, right? He's just doing it for style points. It allows you to micro your Colossi in ways that you never thought you could.
All right, well, a massive Doom drop coming on in from MaSa on the north side. Tesla going to be slightly out of position over on the low ground. He's actually moving toward his 4th base, and now he realizes what's going on and goes straight into the main base. Dark Templos could be warped in over here for maximum effect, because remember, there's one orbital command. There's only one orbital command to scan.
Yes. Oh, well, the Widowmines are here. They're going to be getting... the storms are so good. And remember, Blink is still a factor here. He can try to take out the medevacs, and once he does that, it will definitely, not allow these units to retreat. But now MaSa not realizing that he's helping Tesla out by killing these workers, any economic damage that he takes right now is really nothing.
Unfortunately for Tesla, he actually hasn't lost that many workers.
Yeah.
He's lost like 8 workers. He's starting to lose a few more. He's down to 85. Tesla's almost maxed out, but I mean, 85 is at least a more reasonable number.
Yeah, than 99.
I mean, he's at least got to take some more bases if he wants to make use of this.
Yeah. Well, he lost another Nexus there, down by that natural. And MaSa is still mining here at the planetary, but he's starting to run out of resources if he, doesn't take another base. I think he's just like, how am I still alive,
Yeah, this is one of those situations where it really becomes questionable kind of where the momentum is going to end up going in game number 2, because Tesla is going to storm on through. He's finally going to clean up and claim game number 1.
GG.
Really well done by Tesla. But again, like, that was one of those games where you're so far ahead and your opponent, like, it can be that sort of tilting experience if you are losing for maybe like a few minutes or something.
Yeah.
And then eventually you just end up kind of falling over and petering out. It's like that kind of tilting moment. You're like, you're sticking around in the game.
Look at him too. Yeah, he's just like, I don't know.
Little bunny rabbit ears.
Man. Extended thermal lance, guys. It's actually not necessary.
But then it's like so weird because the MaSa almost looks like he's not quite bringing it back entirely, but he really is he's starting to take good trades and everything. He's like making things happen and maybe giving Tesla a little bit of a scare. He's like, wait a second, you're still in this game. I'm actually starting to lose stalkers and stuff here. Like, your upgrades are actually looking better. That kind of does start to make you question how things are going.
What's going on? Yeah.
MaSa can kind of be like, God, that kind of sucked, but at least like I kind of ended on a somewhat positive note. Like I was starting to do well.
Wow, yeah. There was a point in time where I was like, I think MaSa might be able to bring it back. He had that army value lead after I think it was near the 3rd.
Yeah.
And like Tesla was dancing stalkers, and he's like, yeah, we got this. And like you believe that you do have it at that point. But of course the reinforcements were a little bit slow there, and it's you getting in the moment. Like you're basically like on a stage and you're saying like I'm about to win. Like. Let's do a ceremony,
Let's do a ceremony.
Most people are like, oh my God, like, mom spaghetti, but no. Tesla, shoot.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to hop into game number 2. It's going to be on Black-Pink. Remember, this is a round of 8 match. Yep. The winner is going to move on to the semifinals and potentially get the, I believe, the pleasure of facing off versus a player as quite wonderful. I think it's Neeb on his side.
Is it going to be Neeb? Yeah, I was trying to check it real quick, but
I have to double check that, but let's see if we can find it. I think we're on a PC that has Internet Explorer instead of Chrome or Firefox, so you know it's frozen.
Shut up, bro.
It's frozen.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's loaded. We can finally check that bracket. There it is. Actually, we have the bracket pulled up, and yeah, the winner of this is going to go on to face off versus Neeb.
Okay.
So it's still a bit of a rough match ahead.
Yeah.
Dangerous territories, but you know we'll see how things go as we get ready to hop into game number 2 on Black-Pink.
That we are. So yeah, best of 5. Tesla taking game number 1. I mean, what went wrong there for MaSa, or was it like just Tesla playing out of his mind?
So I would say, like, you have to remember that the very beginning was kind of weird. They were stealing both of each other. Stealing each other's gas and stuff. There was like that Blink Stalker attack and aggression that kind of did a little bit of good harassment. They found like a couple of nice angles, got some good pickoffs and everything. But at the end of the day, it was like that big engagement on the south side of the map where MaSa tried to move in. The 2 Colossus were there, and even though MaSa was looking so good, he kept doing really, really well and actually getting further and further ahead in the game.
Yeah.
He lost his entire army where he was trying to get into a good position and he kind of had a split up, but Tesla seized that moment and then snowballed it a little bit right there.
Oh, man. Well put, well put. Well, here we are on Black-Pink, and in the top right-hand corner of the map, representing OSC Elite, it is our Blue Terran player from Canada as well as Korea. Give it up for MaSa.
And his opponent spun down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. The red Protoss player from Sloth Esports Club up 1-0. Give it up for Tesla.
Electrifying performance.
How? I can't believe he wanted to change his name to Rob.
Just Rob.
He just wanted to be Rob. I'm like,
yeah.
Man, Tesla's such a good name.
It's a really great name, and I don't know. I feel like it's like, you know, some artists are like that too, where they'll have like a really cool name, and they're like, you know what, I just want to use my government name.
Yeah, I mean, like, if Boom Boom Prime wanted to change his name to Rob, I'd be like, okay, dude, you know what? It's only uphill from here, but Tesla's like, pretty awesome.
There were some pretty bad ones. I forget who. Hope Torture.
Hope Torture. That was a great one.
So we do got a name like that, then sure, yeah, I'm all for it. But
well, MaSa going to be pumping out the Marines from these 2 barracks, and this is a bit of a weird one. Like, okay, you see the gas geyser. And what do you expect from this? Like, the gas geyser's there. You see that there's no barracks in the main base. I feel like you'd be expecting like a tech lab or like a Reapers or something, but it's actually a bunker rush. This really might throw Tesla for a loop.
It might. I mean, he doesn't know about that bunker. You don't get that vision from that Nexus until it is complete. And now this is a little bit peculiar. You do see the SCV coming out, and then the Marine goes up into your base, and it's like, oh. Yeah. Wait a minute, and now you're going to try to push the Marine back, but the bunker is already done, and he gives away that he is here.
Okay. Well, the bunker's going to be kind of annoying for a Protoss player to break at this point because...
Especially when your first unit is an Adept. Or a Zealot.
Zealot, yeah. Wow. I mean, the Zealot actually has a good amount of hit points, especially compared to like a Stalker or something. And, okay, whoa, actually just forcing out the cancel entirely. And Tesla goes for I think he's going for a pylon on the other side of the map.
Yep.
Yeah, I think his response is he's just going to like do some counter damage.
Do you think Stargate here, or does he go for...
I mean, keep in mind that there's a factory being built, sure. But that factory is being built on the other side of the map, and it's going to have to deal with whatever Tesla makes.
Oh, so it's 3 warp gates here. Tesla is going to try to just counter this with an aggressive warp-in, or rather warp gate all-in.
Oh, this gets really dicey though, because there's a cardinal rule in Protoss versus Terran, or anything versus Terran, is never base traded Terran. And I feel like that's what he might end up forcing himself to do here if he tries to go for some big warp-ins and go across the map with, especially against a Terran player who's making Cyclones right now.
Okay, yeah, the defensive posture of MaSa is going to be pretty good. And the fact that MaSa did not opt to go for an expansion, you know, because sometimes you'll cancel the expansion of your opponent.
Oh my God, MaSa's no way. He scouts out the gateway. He's going to be able to pick off the probe, and warp gate technology should be finished.
That's unreal. That is sense, though.
Oh my God, 3 Marines over here. That's going to be enough, I think, to maybe... Yeah, 4th pylon coming up. Like, this looks ridiculous, but I actually think it's kind of necessary in order for him to save enough time to get up. Maybe he needs like 1 less pylon. Oh, okay, no, the Cyclone's coming here. He definitely needs it, but even if he tries to warp in over here, what's he going to do? Warp in front of 5 or 6 Marines and a Cyclone? Like, I don't think it's worth it at that point.
Nope, and he's going to be losing all of these pylons for free. The gateway is going to be taken out too.
He does move out of his own main base. You can see at the natural expansion, the Stalkers are just walking their way across the map past the bunker, but they take a lot of damage in the process because there's still 3 Marines there.
Wow, really, really sick game sense out of MaSa here. And I mean, perhaps he was thinking it was going to be anything, you know, like whether it's a Stargate, whether it's any, you know, that's like a location that is pretty common. But the fact that he was able to get it so early is making it so that Tesla is put into a very awkward spot. He's going to have to switch it up because he cannot reinforce as quickly as he used to be able to. He actually can't reinforce at all. You know, every pylon went down and he invested it all.
There's the head shake from Tesla as he sees the barracks land in the main base. The Marines coming back into the mineral line. They're going to start going after some of those workers. MaSa, I mean, if he finishes these bunkers, there's no way Tesla breaks this. This is going to be GG. MaSa.
Tesla shaking his head there like, oh, man.
I think he knows. Like, that was... Yep. That was a rough loss to a really, really dirty cheese there. I mean, what a kind of way to throw your opponent for a loop. You go for a gas geyser, and then you just build Marines and go for a bunker rush. Yeah. Like, that's a mind game in and of itself.
Really, to throw off your... I feel like... he's kind of like, yeah, you think you can dance your Stalkers on me, huh? Okay, I'll float a barracks into...
yeah, man. No
into
kidding.
your main. But really, really well done. And this makes it a very exciting series, you know, making it tie game. Although that was a lot quicker of a series than the last one. I mean, not series, but quicker than a game, yeah. I mean, that was a really cool way to do it, right? Like, just throwing Tesla off. And the fact that he was able to, like, shut it down right there with the warp-in. He was ahead of, you know, of the game. He didn't get too bunkered down inside of his own main. He was out on the map like, okay, what could he possibly do right now? It's gonna
he was actually pretty bunkered down in his main.
He was, yeah, after he...
In the sense that there were bunkers right outside of his main.
Yeah, this is true. In the natural.
In the natural, yeah.
So we're going to be going, I think... going into a game 3 where it's not a 2-0 situation.
Yeah,
right? So.
And that's kind of cool. The one sort of weird thing is, like, normally if you have a macro game, one player wins that, and then you go to a second game and the cheesing player wins that. I usually say, like, oh, well, you know, it was just a cheese. Yeah. Are they really going to feel great about that? But remember that MaSa, while he did lose the macro game, he got into a really advantageous position in game number 1, too. Yeah. So, like, that is actually going to be a bit frustrating for Tesla because he has fallen behind in the macro game. He lost the cheese game. And while he was able to pull back in that first game, he still needs to prove that he can not just, you know, rely on MaSa maybe making a mistake or something that he capitalized on, that he can actually just take a straight-up macro game.
Clean. Like, nothing feels better than a clean StarCraft win. So here we are, though, or really dirty, cheesy StarCraft win. But on Ascension to Ire in the top left-hand corner, bringing it back with a bunker rush into a very solid defense. Give it up for your Blue Terran player from OSC Elite, MaSa.
And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have the red Protoss player from Sloth Esports Club. Put your hands together for Tesla.
A lot of support for both players here. Yeah. We're getting to, cheeky.
You remember how we were talking about how Tesla was the kind of guy who, you know, you steal his gas, he'll steal your gas and be like, how do you like them apples?
Yep.
Tesla's also the kind of guy who'd be like, oh, you cheese me? I'll cheese you. How do you like that?
He's the kind of guy that'd be, how do you like them apples? But they're actually like pears and not even apples in the first place, right?
That's the mind game right there, man. But okay. MaSa's going to move across the map. He has been going for these SCV scouts and following it up with the Reaper scout. Yep. And this game, of course, that barracks still finishing on up. And, okay, Tesla moves forward with his own probe scout. He sees the barracks finish up. He sees that he's not getting cheesed himself. And he sees that the SCV is likely trying to go for the command center. Oh, over in the main base, though. Tesla, he doesn't look that odd outside of the fact that that Nexus hasn't started up yet.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't made it look too crazy because he did put the other gateway on the other side of the map, and he did it incredibly early. So, I mean, he might not commit to a full all-in here and wait for Warp Gate. He might actually just be able to reinforce from that gateway and then maybe with a follow-up all-in, but he's not, like, completely committed to it. And it does throw MaSa off a little bit, too, so if he starts looking around for a proxy and he sees that, that could be like, wait, what? Why?
Okay, Stalker getting Chrono boosted out. Oh, MaSa seems like he has some game sense that something is up because normally a Protoss player these days will just go straight for Gateway Nexus core, but seeing the Cybernex core down before the Nexus, he knows. He scouts this out. He sees the pylon. The Stalker should be able to pop out and force back this Reaper. Actually doing some good damage.
That was really good.
He won't be able to pick off that Reaper, but he gets it awfully low, so it's going to have to back off for now. Instead of that Zelnaga Watchtower, some units coming across the map for Tesla as well. Might actually be able to try and snipe that off if MaSa's not paying attention, but no, he is, and he's going to get out of there with that Reaper.
Yeah, this is cool by Tesla. I think he was hoping that he would catch it with the other Stalker, but was not able to do that. MaSa playing it defensively as he takes his natural base is able to get a bunker down, but it does only have one Marine in it. So that's definitely not going to be enough. The SCVs are going to have to put in some overtime here. But, I thought he was just going to go on the other side.
Yeah, well, the Reaper is going to have to back up as a third Stalker does pop out. And wow, Tesla actually pulling back. I think this might be a little bit of... Oh, God, I feel like he really still could have continued to do damage there. Marines still need to not only be rallied out, but they can't really get to the bunker safely with the Stalkers there. But he might be a little bit concerned about a Cyclone.
A Cyclone, yeah, that would be the scariest.
But it was a Widow Mine, so he kind of misses the opportunity there because he didn't really know what was coming.
Yep. Oh, adding more gateways here, though, Tesla is. Before that saturation, he's just going to go ahead and potentially put on a bit of pressure here, but I agree with you, right? Like, missed opportunities there, but it's also a risk, right? If that Cyclone does come out, then it's like, I
think he
could
actually
lose
picks
both
off
of
the
these
Reaper,
Stalkers.
by the way, with the Stalkers. He finds it out on the map.
Add-on complete.
Oh, yep. Absolutely.
All right. You can see that MaSa hasn't really seen the additional gateways coming down. And the gateways really do signal that Tesla needs to get a bit aggressive because he not only has that proxy pylon and 2 Widow Mines, I think, loaded up in that medevac, so could get some damage done there. But if Tesla is moving across the map with these 4 gateways, he didn't throw it on any tech. He didn't throw it on Twilight Council, no Stargate, no Robo. He has to get some damage done. And if he defends well against the Widow Mine drop, then he has a real opportunity here because those 2 Widow Mines are big factory investment build time. So he's not really going to have as many units for the defense.
And the good part here for Tesla as well is that 2 Widow Mines dropping across into your main is not as big of a deal as it used to be if you're going to go for something that Tesla's going for. Back in the day, well, like what, a month
you don't
ago?
have detection? GG.
It is what it, like, you basically have to go all in. So the fact that you can clean it up, still only lose 2 probes max if you are paying attention to it at the beginning of it. And I said if...
Tesla does react quickly. He had a huge Widow Mine loss yesterday. It's not going to happen again. The Stalker's moving into the natural, jumping in on top of that bunker. Remember, there's no blink, but he doesn't need it. He takes down that bunker. The Siege Tank on the high ground, though, going to be doing some big splash damage, knocking the Stalkers back for a little bit. Still not taking too much damage from those Widow Mine drops, though.
Oh, that's so good. Tesla being able to still put that aggression on and be, pretty diligent, especially when he's knowing that there is a Widow Mine drop.
He needs to still get some more damage on. He took out a bunker. He maybe took out 1 or 2 SCVs. I don't even think he took out 2 SCVs. And the Widow Mines are still just doing slight bits of damage. This is much nicer. Getting in here, sniping off the supply depot or 2s. Might even be able to snipe off a second, or the engineering bay if he's really able to stick around for a while. And denying that natural expansion is really nice because he's behind in tech. Tesla needs to get more damage on. Oh, listen, Stalker there. Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
Oh, he was doing so well. 9 workers. That's really bad.
It is. He forced the lift off for MaSa, and the fact that MaSa was able to get that connection, and that's actually really impressive. The fact that he's being so, meticulous of how when he lets the Widow Mine go off, because usually you think that Widow Mines are kind of useless. As soon as they go off, then it's like, yeah, they don't even remain burrowed anymore, or at least they are detectable. And he's still getting crazy amounts of damage.
Not pulling this time. He's going to end up losing 3 more workers. And oh my god, that 1 Widow Mine just barely out of range. Tesla finally realizing what's going on. He's going to go after the 1 Widow Mine that actually is off cooldown. And well, the Stalkers should be able to finish that off if Tesla's paying attention. He's also continuing to harass that command center, and the SCV is also starting to go down. Marines really not that high of a number, so Tesla getting some good pickoffs here. Oh, gotta be careful about those siege tanks, though.
Uh-oh, he might have trapped himself here. He doesn't have blink, and there's no Twilight.
He's got to get out right now. Otherwise, the siege tank is gonna be able to get some. You can see him. He's saying something. Oh god, I think he's had some issues right now. He was saying something out loud. Saying that he needs to pause.
Okay.
Oh, it all tabbed on him. Okay.
Yeah. That's no bueno.
Yeah. That's going to be really frustrating and rough. Windows key.
I thought he was going to say, oh, Windows key? Like, yeah. Oh, thanks. I didn't know that thing did that.
Yeah.
But
well, here we go. Tesla has to get out of here because those siege tanks are now going to close in on him. Oh my God, it's like you were saying, Tempo. He's completely trapped in here.
There's no way he can get out. Well, he can recall. He can recall, right?
He can recall. He needs to do it right now, though.
Yeah.
The siege tanks are getting closer and closer. He's running out of space.
Yep.
Does he have energy on those Nexus?
I believe so. The main looks like it does have enough, but he's either trying to wait so that he can still deny the mining, but I mean, if the siege tanks do one more hop, he's going to lose everything here.
Yeah.
Okay.
He loses a lot in the process. I don't think the extra delayed mine time was worth losing 4 or 5 more Stalkers.
No. But at least he was able to take a third during it. I mean, it's just...
He definitely is a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, he could have got out with more. He forced out a lot of tanks here, so if we do see a transition as the Twilight comes down into more charge lots instead of the Blink Stalker, yeah, perhaps he's setting MaSa up for a unit comp that he doesn't actually want.
He's so aggressive with all these Stalkers, and I'm really worried that Liberator is going to go uncontested, though, because, again, like, he doesn't have any tech. Like, right now, he's getting up his Twilight. He's getting up his Forge. He doesn't have Blink. He doesn't actually... I mean, he has a few gateways. He has 5 gateways out on the map right now, but he's not going to be able to break this. I don't really know what he's trying to do outside of maybe denying, like, a potential third, but that third is not really coming out for MaSa.
No, there are way too many tanks to actually break this. I mean, yeah, there's really not much you can do here. Yeah, it's going to be the contain, so... Here comes that Liberator. I think, no, that thing is on the high ground, I believe, so...
drop loads up over here for MaSa. He realizes, yeah, I have plenty of siege tanks. What are these Stalkers really going to do? He's maybe trying to scare MaSa into over-defending here. And I guess you could technically make an argument that that's kind of happening. But there's 3 orbital commands out for MaSa. Like, he's not mining from a third, but he has a third base ready and waiting to start mining.
Yep. I believe I missed that, yeah, so... It's actually not that bad that, you know, he was a little bit contained. He lost a little bit of mining time, but it's all starting to come back. He's going to be able to float that third out, but I guess this is good for Tesla being able to be out here. But the fact that MaSa finds a way to get a dropout as well as Liberators, I mean, gosh.
This is the hard part. Oh, God, he walks into the Liberator to evade the Marines, and he's not going to be able to get the Liberator. This is, so frustrating. Liberator resieges up and says, you're not mining from here anytime soon. More Stalkers coming on, and they're going to go after the Marines. He goes after the medevac for a moment, is going to be able to snipe off that Liberator now, but taking so much damage in the process. I don't even think these Stalkers are going to be enough. He has to pull back the rest of his Stalkers from the other side of the map, and MaSa getting so much damage done, clearing up the army from his side of the map, and is now able to take that third.
Wow, 10 workers down as a result of that, and now the third does land, as you said, dropping those meals, get that income going on, and yeah, the fact that he's able to get that counter damage done, despite that quote-unquote contain, somehow, some way, MaSa finds a way to do massive amounts of damage.
Okay, well, he actually might be able to catch some of these siege tanks with
Blink is finishing
up. Blink is 4 seconds away from finishing up. He can't blink out of that Widow Mine shot. He kills off 1 siege tank, but this is such a rough trade for Tesla. He loses a ton of Stalkers, his only army units, and MaSa just stands forward. He says, yeah, I'll take this fight. If you're going to trade out Stalkers for Stim Bio, I'll do this any day of the week.
Any day of the week, yeah. Wow. Definitely almost an opportunity to be able to take out the tanks, but there were some units on the top of the ramp. And now Tesla is in a little bit of trouble. He's down by about 30 army supply. His third base mining, you know, that was supposed to be his advantage from all of that pressure. He loses a bunch of Stalkers during it, and then he also loses a bunch of probes as a result. And now it's looking like MaSa is going to be able to get into his zone. His +1, I believe, is done. He doesn't have +1 armor just yet, but, you know, he's starting to work on it here.
Okay, well, the Stalkers got to stay alive. Stim was used a little while ago, so it seems like they're not going to be able to chase down those Stalkers for now. Tesla really needs to keep those alive as a continued form. At this point, you know, before I was saying, you know, the Stalkers are going to have a hard time getting damage on. They have to just keep this bio at home. They need to be on this side of the map, continuing to poke forward, but MaSa's just not going to have any of it. He realized the Stalker count is low enough. He can just deal with this with a few units rallying in, maybe leaving 1 siege tank back at home, and the rest of the units move across the map. Tesla's Templar Archons is finished up, but Storm is only just now starting. Charge is not done. He doesn't even have Zealots warped in right now. This is very well going to be a potential GG moment if MaSa just kills off this third.
Yeah, the third is probably going to go down here. The army value is not great for Tesla, and it's mainly only Stalkers, I would say. So he's trying to fight this with only Stalkers. They don't have superior upgrades. Dancing around, MaSa is stutter stepping around, killing so many probes. 23 go down here, Fear Dragon, and yeah, you might have said it, and this is the truth.
God. You know, MaSa, he got danced on in that first game, but you know what? MaSa's dancing with those Marines. They actually do a bit of damage while they're dancing.
They actually do, right? Like, oh man, and another Widowmine hit, getting some of the Stalkers before they're able to even blink out. Oh man, MaSa's just rallying across the map now. His 1-1 is done, but as is Tesla's. And even the Templar that Tesla warped in, they got taken out. They got like one, not like what, volley?
Tesla would actually need just one or two of the most amazing storms
but that would just
kill the army, and then he needs to be able to deny a third or at least shut down that fourth or something along those lines. But MaSa is actually kind of out-positioning Tesla right now. He's going to end up having this third base cancel once again if he focus fires that down. There's the cancel. High Templar coming on in, but doesn't even have enough energy for a storm right now. He's not using it. He loses it to the Widowmine.
Wow.
Oh, no, that's it. GG. MaSa goes up 2-1 in this best of 5.
Really, really playing some solid StarCraft, MaSa. Just waking up here, and he's just like, okay,
yeah,
you know, let's go. You can't contain me. You know, I'm basically uncontainable.
I mean, MaSa, again, is such a momentum-based player, and he had the momentum for the entirety of that game. And I think really just in this series, he seized the momentum.
Yep.
It wasn't even during the proxy.
Yeah.
I would say he stopped the momentum of Tesla in game number 1 when he started putting up such a crazy fight after falling behind. Like, he re-seized and stopped that momentum for Tesla, and then he got the momentum in his favor in that proxy game. In game number 3, you just see that momentum is carrying over.
It's still going, yeah.
Tesla is having trouble stopping MaSa now.
He really is, and he's trying, though, right? Because he's doing all these aggressive tactics and is trying to say, hey, you know, slow your roll, you know, and every single time MaSa finds a way to slip out. And the way that he gets so much value out of all of his aggression is, like, you know, that's a testament to MaSa and just, I guess, his experience and expertise. I don't even know how he's able to do it basically every single time. He had 2 Widowmines in a medevac in this patch where, like, once they go off, then, of course, you know, you can pick them off pretty easily. And he was, like, juggling them.
He was doing a great job against it at first.
Yeah. And then eventually, that one hit, it's like 9 probes, and it's like, oh my god.
And that's the difficulty with MaSa, and when you're being so aggressive across the map while trying to defend with a minimal number of units at home, is that those Widowmines are going to get out. Yep. MaSa is a multitasking legend, and he's going to continuously try to defend at home while moving in with the drops in and out, constantly saving those Widowmines and coming back in later when they're off cooldown. He's going to find opportunities to get the damage done.
Every single time. And it really is cool. You got to applaud that. I think that's one of the things that is, like, really impressive because, like, usually you would expect that, you know, okay, the Widowmine drop didn't work, let's try something else. No, he was, like, being very careful. He was picking them up, making sure that they didn't go off. And Tesla, you know, he was doing a good job as well, I think, with the contain and getting other damage done. But MaSa just was a step ahead. And, yeah, we're here now in match point.
All right.
I always want to say Catalina, I swear to God.
Not quite Catalina, but it is a pretty dry-looking map. As we start up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, top of the blue Terran player from OSC Elite, sitting up 2-1 and needs one more game to win. Give it up for MaSa.
And in the bottom right-hand corner from Sloth Esports, one of our wonderful sponsors, it is the man fighting for his life. Give him your energy. It is Tesla.
All right. You know that Tesla is that player that was saying, you know, I'm happy having made the playoffs. I made the round of 8. I feel good about this.
Yep.
But
he wants more.
But when you go into this kind of thing and you take the first game and now you're just sitting there and you're like, it's so close. I could get a round of 4 finish. I could get a top 4 finish. The difference between saying I got a top 4 finish and I got a top 8 finish, it is night and day difference. Top 4 is incredibly respectable. Top 8 is you're making good progress and you're doing well. But Tesla wants to be a top 4 player. That's what he's been aiming for such a long time. MaSa will be disappointed in himself as this kind of former Cheesadelphia champion, as this absolute legend in the North American scene, if he doesn't get a top 4
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of funny how it works like that, right? Where it's like, wow, I want number 1. You know, top 4 actually is not at all. That's a failure in my eyes. But
being annoying here with this SCV, doing a really good job dodging out of the probe's damage for a while. So SCV actually going to be able to really delay this. You can already see Tesla sitting up at almost 600 minerals right now.
And he gets it.
Is that?
It's not misplaced.
Is that misplaced? No, it's not misplaced. No, we're fine. We're fine. Okay.
I know, right?
I always do that.
I get, like, so nervous about that, too.
Yeah.
I swear, every single time it's like, if you're a Terran, you can shift it, but as a Protoss or a Zerg, nope.
You gotta live with it.
Yeah. So let's see if any pylons. Okay, that's another thing. This scouting, every single time it seems like MaSa is able to see whatever is, you know, Tesla is a player that loves to do different weird kind of proxies and shift up how he plays. So many different things that he's trying to catch his opponent off guard with, and MaSa's been on top of it literally every single time. And that is disheartening every single time. Like, you're trying to do something cheeky and different, and he has eyes on you basically the whole time.
Okay, Reaper comes on into the main base. Gonna be able to snap off potentially one worker. He gets very low on hit points. Tesla having to pull quite a few of his own. This Adept, it feels a little bit late here. I'm not sure if Tesla... I'm not sure. I really do feel like the Adept normally comes out right around the time. If you're chrono boosting out that Adept, comes out right around the time the Reaper pops out. But yeah, maybe I'm just thinking of a Stalker or something like that. But still, losing 2 workers, definitely a really nice trade right there for MaSa.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, another.
Oh. It also could have been like maybe with the way that the Nexus was being blocked, something else happened where he didn't like hit the chrono boost on it, or you know, like little things like that.
Can we actually get our... I'd love it if our observer can hit numpad 1 really quickly, because it'll actually bring up the income graphs. Numpad 1? Ooh. You might need to have numlock on. I forget.
Oh, that's a thing. Unless,
yeah, all right. Don't worry too much about it. We do actually have a Dark Shrine on the way right now. So Tesla is going to be mixing this up. We got to see a little bit of this yesterday. Ooh, that Adept. Going to be able to shade on forward. Where did it actually end up? Barely dodges out of 1 Marine. Oh, that could have actually been a really annoying loss.
Oh, yeah.
But he's going to be able to regenerate some shields, maybe get some more scouting information later. But this Dark Shrine play has been shown to be able to catch a lot of Terran players off guard.
Yeah, I thought not even a DT drop. So is he just going to go for a little bit of a Dark Templar, warp in on the right side, and then follow it up with some kind of Charge Lot Archon?
This is actually the he can go for the kind of DT. He can go for the DT drops with the Warp Prism and everything if he has that Robo out. But the Warp Prism's not going to be out in time for the DT drop, so he might just run them in. He's got a proxy pylon down. He tried to move in, I think, with the Adept or something to the natural expansion. It's starting to get some damage that gets picked off. But the important thing is MaSa's actually going for a Marine tank. And he's even moving across the map right now. And this could work out really well for Tesla. Like, exceptionally well. But the missile turrets are starting to come up at the perfect time over here for MaSa.
Wow. Yeah, I thought that he was going to be able to at least keep MaSa a little bit back. That Adept was trying a little bit to at least slow it down. But it seems like the DTs are going to be better served as a defense here.
They are going to need. He's going to need some DTs for the defense because he's got nothing back at home. But the funny thing is, there's not actually that many units out here. So if Tesla actually just fights this out, he cancels that bunker. He can kill these Marines. I mean, the DTs alone do an absurd amount of damage. He's going after the missile turret. There's not actually going to be another scan available, I think, for a little bit.
Nope. And he goes, I think there's one scan about to be available right now.
Yeah, he needs to keep those DTs alive. He doesn't end up losing any of the DTs. That's a huge deal right now. On the other side of the map, though, he needs a DT back at home to defend. He's losing workers. I would love to see him just pull these into the main base. He doesn't need to try and fight this out.
Nope, he is going to lose the Nexus. It is going to go down, and now MaSa has done what he needed to do. Even trying to get out.
He loses. Oh my god, there's already another missile turret there. And he runs into Immortal. He loses that as well.
Oh no, so damage that's getting done, though, on the other side of the map. I don't think it's going to be able to at least compete with the amount of damage.
Tempo, this is the one place
he's running him in. He's running him into the main.
Okay. He's getting to the main base. The missile turret has to continue to rally those forward. The supply depot goes down. He needs to get that missile turret up in the natural expansion. He's close enough that he can start to snipe it off. He's killing off a lot of the workers at the same time. Stalker can force a lift up on that orbital command. If he starts focus firing down, he needs to actually do that to try and get it burning so he can prevent additional scans later on. But as the Marines start to move forward, one more DT comes in. The missile turret is not finished up in the main base, but a scan is available. He snipes off that DT and he's continuing to push on forward.
Oh my god, and that's it. That's all she wrote. MaSa going to be able to take that victory in a very, very hectic final games of the series.
Oh
my god.
It looks almost silly in that situation.